everybody. Welcome to Open the Gates. I am your host, Matt Burke. And tonight we're going to be having on Matthew Fowler. He's going to be talking about his book, Tiger Blue 3. So he should be coming in any second. Hey, what's up, Matthew? How you doing?
Good. How's it going? I kicked myself on accident right when I was closing out my tabs.
It's all good, man. I do that shit all the time. How you doing, brother?
Chilling. About yourself?
Oh, man, I'm chilling like a villain, man. I should be put in prison.
Right.
Maximum security. I'm just doing great, man. It's Halloween time. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I'm just trying to do. It's weird because like a lot of the stuff that we watch horror movies all the time here. Like we're like big horror movie buffs, so it's kind of like Halloween all the time. So it's kind of like I'm trying to groove into that fucking Halloween spirit, but it's kind of hard. So right now I'm watching Swamp Thing. I was really eager to watch that show. It got taken off of the internet or whatnot. It was through the DC, like had their own streaming service at one point. I really wanted to check the show out, but I missed it. And now it's on Tubi for free. So I'm fucking watching that like every night. And I just seen the first episode and I was just like, wow, dude, like I think it's really cool. I don't know. Have you ever heard of it or seen it or anything?
I mean, I remember the Swamp Thing movie, from the 80s when I was a kid.
Yeah. Wes Craven.
I didn't check out the new modern show yet. No, not yet.
Yeah, it's good. I was surprised at how good it is. It's from the director of Underworld is he's directing it. And the guy that plays Jason in the remake, it's kind of old now, but he plays him, so he looks like him. He looks like he stepped out of the comics, Mm-hmm. And it's also produced by James Wan, the guy that does like The Conjuring and The Collector and Saw and all that other shit.
So is it connected to the other DC shows like Arrow and Flash and Lois and Clark and all that stuff?
I don't think it is, dude. I think it's standalone and it's full hard horror. It's rated R. Like,
okay.
Homeboy gets blasted. He gets fucking blasted, and it's straight up like body horror, dude. Like right from the get. So I was like, hell yeah, dude. Like gory and everything. So
now is it based on the Gaiman? Or wait, Alan Moore run?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's just Holland. He doesn't look like Holland. Like there's this thing like in like comics, like when they translate him from comics to movies, like they usually have like a blonde dude, and then they give him like they make him a brunette all the time, Right, but the dude was a good actor though. Like he sold it, and I'm like, okay, I get, he's wearing flip flops all the time. He's still doing his Alec Holland shit, but then they had to put that full down. And there's a couple like Virginia Madsen's in there, and then there's a name Thomas Jane. I forgot the name of the actor, but he's like in The Postman and a couple other movies. But yeah, man, it's a good show though. I was really happy to see it, man. I'm over here on the West Coast, man. Where are you at? I'm in like Long Beach, LA County, California.
I'm in Peoria, Illinois, a couple hours south of Chicago. So
you're up there
in the middle of the country.
You're up there with the Diaz brothers and forgot, man. Sovereign Wolf. I forgot his name.
Eddie Winkler.
Eddie Winkler, man.
I see those guys all the time when I go up to conventions and stuff.
Eddie Winkler was either like the first or second, maybe third person that like contacted me when I first kind of got on the scene with this, Comicsgate independent movement or whatnot that we're doing right now.
Right.
I always remember. Just I'm horrible with names. But yeah, man, I can't wait for whatever the fuck else book he's got coming out.
I think he's working on the sequel to Sovereign Wolf.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen some of the art for it. He showed me up at Fan Expo, and it looks just as good as the first book, if not a little bit better. So I'm excited for him to come back.
Yeah, man. I've been really digging Tiger Blue, man. I've got the first two campaigns. I backed those.
Nice.
I love Jose's art. I think he's one of the visionaries. I throw that term around sometimes, but there is just some artists that are visionaries. Him, Kenneth Rocafort, Preston Azevedo, Jason Bascom. There's just these guys that just stand out. He's one of them. I love his art, and I love the way the story is, man. Like what I really liked about it, it really it reminded me of the Island of Dr. Moreau and Enter the Dragon.
That was the mashup I was going for sure.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, and just I really loved it, and I liked what you were doing with the second campaign. Now I have the second campaign. I haven't even read it yet.
Right.
I like to I like to do these little reviews. I don't critique books. I just review them and I talk about the shit that I like, you know. And when I do it, I like to like just immerse myself in the whole campaign, just open it up and then read it and then just have a review of it while everything's fresh, you know. So I
remember I really liked your review of the first book. I was like, oh man, yeah, posting that on Twitter or liking it, yeah, for sure.
Oh, for sure, man. And I plan to do the same for the next one, but. Yeah, man. I remember back in the day too, man. You were like the first one to do like a supernatural Western, like in CG. You did the Prospectors. I remember that book.
I ran a bunch of ads for Prospectors in Alterna Comics during late 2018 and 2019. And then lost the original art team in the summer of 2019 and then had to find Ricardo Jaime and Marcos Martins to replace Kane and White. So we did find a replacement team and then ran the campaign in 2020 and it didn't fund. And then finally, I think we ran it again last year and it just barely funded. So I'm getting ready to go to lettering on that soon. So just hoping to get these last 10 pages done and get that shipped out, you know, as soon as possible.
I can't wait for that, man. I just remember like, just loving it. You know, you had the whole concept was dope, dude. And I just was like, I'm glad that, it's going to happen. It's basically what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Like it was just too early, I think. Like a year later, Wraith of God was out there, the Snowman, the Spawn cowboy comic, the McFarlane release. It was just all horror westerns like a year after I flopped out, not able to do that shit, man. But
it happens, man.
Yeah,
like I got a horror western too.
Butch CLEAVER, man. I remember that and Blackwell or Deepwell.
Deepwell, that one's coming too.
They were around the beginning of CG, and there was one other, the Six Gun Gorilla guy.
Six Gun Gorilla, Brian. Yeah, that's my homie. He's actually working on him and Preston are doing the final two is in one campaign, the 2 issues, and that one's open right now. He's getting a new pad. We do a show on Thursdays prior to this called the Horror Movie Club, where we pick a movie that's free on Tubi or somewhere that's not behind a paywall, and then we talk about it.
Nice.
So, yeah, there's that one, and then there was another one too. Damn, I forgot the name of it. It was like Mark Middleton. He did I think it was Gravediggers. I think that was the name of it.
Okay.
It was like a 32 pager. That shit was dope too. But so I know.
Yeah, I remember Gravediggers. It ended up being like one of the guys was a werewolf or something.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, Big Dick Murphy. Yeah,
exactly.
Dude, it was fucking dope, dude. And was it Passion for Drawing drew it? I fucking loved it, man. I really loved his drawings on there, his art. It was dope.
And Robert tried a robot cowboy book too.
Robert. I have that too. I have to review it.
That's finally shipped too. Yeah, I was gonna say like that took a little long, but finally is manifested, man. Came out.
What up, Hex?
Hey, what's good, Hex? Nice to see you, man.
I just seen him about almost a month ago. Dillard had a barbecue at his house, and all the
you went up to that?
Yeah, we all met up and had some beers and some burgers and some hot dogs, some tacos, getting our grub on. It was fun. It was nice to meet people.
Yeah, those meetups can be fun.
On see in real life, and but yeah, man, I know who you are, but maybe for other people that are watching and maybe on the replay, maybe if you want, you could tell us a little about yourself.
I guess I'm just a dude who writes comics, crowdfunding space, hangs out in the chats of a lot of these YouTube shows, mainly hanging around the indie comic space, been making comics since about 2018. I don't know about it to really say. TYGER BLUE is my main IP. And like I said, I had a couple other side projects that I view them as like pilot episodes for TV shows, right?
Yeah.
And none of my pilots have gotten picked up yet, but I've basically made 2 or 3 pilots so far in the past, 5 years or whatever. So I'm out here doing my work at retrographicbooks.com or, on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, man. And your campaigns, man. I remember when you came out with TYGER BLUE, that's next level with the figure and then the fully interactive like video game, and you scan something in the book and then it takes you to actually into the game, or it was just really cool the way you set that up.
I was very lucky on Tiger Blue 1. The people I started hanging out with in the chats, we formed this thing called the Crack Pack. And all the members of the Crack Pack each had their own unique skill for what they were trying to do in their own thing. Dying Days of YouTube was really good at animation. The Jeremy Theverot, the Zaid comics, not Zaid Brothers, Zaid Comics with the E instead of the AI. He was already into game development deep with his brother. They had Beckoned, their RPG that they had already had a full-blown playable demo out on Steam and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So he was already in the group, and I tapped him to see if he could do something similar to what he was doing with Beckoned in the Tiger Blue with the Tiger Blue characters. Steve Woyster happened to be designing his own Star Wars style figures already, he comes from the Kenner prototypes and the heavy into the Star Wars action figure collecting. And I said, hey, can you do a simple, not a whole bunch of articulation, but like the 70s, 80s Star Wars toys, the first batch. And he's like, yo, I got you. And then, that's how the Tiger Blue toy came about. And man, like everything was just in the community and literally even tighter than that in the Crack Pack, So I got to have action figures, models, video games, and animation, which usually would be beyond anybody's budget to find teams and bring together. And I was just blessed to have a bunch of really skilled people around me. And at that time in 2022, and late 2021, there was like this creative energy that was really intense, and they really wanted to show, what they were capable of and stuff. And same with Jose on the art. I met him in the chats too. They would make fun of him, call his art bisexual lighting, and make fun of his they'd call it Cal Arts style or whatever of the closer to animation, where his career has taken him, and Tiger Blue is a complete different look than that for him, like stylistically it's all black and white and very rendered instead of simplistic cell shading techniques, and it adds that real weight and depth to the character. But man, I was lucky enough to come across him in the Crack Pack chats too, hanging out, and I was like, yo, I've got this old comic book I made in 2018, did a bunch of designs for, and just never got it going. The deal when you hire someone for 5 pages and then they disappear, that type of stuff goes on. And I was like, here's the design schematics and turnarounds and character sheets and stuff. I was like, why don't you do me 5 pages?
Right.
He turned them in, and I was just like, oh wow, this is
kind of like awestruck.
This is like awesome, man. So and he's been working on it ever since. Even when he gets bigger jobs or moves on to higher stuff, he still comes back and does the Tiger Blue when he gets a chance. So I'm stoked about that.
I got to get him on the show too eventually. I'm gonna get him one of these days. He's a real inspiration too. Him and Bancroft. Those guys are just real go-getters. You know what I mean? Really hard work ethic. That I think a lot of us could strive to. I remember because I backed a few of Jose's books, and I get his emails. I'm just like, dude, he's crushing like 4 books a year. And it's just like, there's no excuses either. Like, well, what's your excuse? It's like, look at Jose over here, I'm like, so everyone does things differently, but it's just that, again, that work ethic, like what are you going to do for you to get yourself to do the best you could do,
And to be fair, Jose's from the animation space. So, he's worked on Voltron, Kung Fu Panda, stuff along those lines for Netflix and DreamWorks and stuff. And you have to be fast. I hear in that field, it's like, oh, well, we need these redrawn by today. We need these concepts quickly. And, it's kind of a constant state of being in a hurry from the way he describes it. So
pretty intense, dude. Sounds pretty intense. Oh yeah, man. As far as like like your influences, man. Who are some of your favorite writers that you draw inspiration from, and some of your artists too?
I mean, I'm a big Frank Miller head. You know,
Me too.
like
Fuck yeah, me too.
I'd say most influential would probably be that.
Yeah, I mean, he's big ups on there for me too, man. Like for me a while it was like it's always like Sin City, but right now on a lot of levels 300.
Right. Yeah, 300 is good. I really like Lone Wolf and Cub growing up. The Mirage run of Turtles, the black and white stuff up to like issue 50 or whatever.
Still got Ronin in there. I haven't even read it yet. There's only have you read that yet?
Yeah, I've got all the director's cuts and behind the scenes. Like I've been really into Last Ronin since it dropped. Very cool stuff as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, man. The main influence is just like the Brayfogle run of Detective Comics. You know, from right around like 600 to 620, 630, something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it came out right around the same time as the '89 Batman movie launched. You know, in the theaters. There was
dude, they're gonna put that in the theaters with the live orchestra at the in January, bro. I just got it on Twitter. I was like, what? I'd actually be down with that.
I was gonna say that might be legit.
Yeah,
I used to go see that so many times in the theaters.
Yeah, me too, man.
I would go to the dollar movie and see stuff stayed in the theaters forever back then too.
6 months, like, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
But you know, standard Mirage Turtles, Frank Miller Daredevil, of course, Year One. Killing Joke.
Oh yeah,
all that kind of stuff is
all the classic Batman stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not classic, but I mean, it is classic, but yeah, that shit's dope.
What do they call I guess like the staples everyone recommends. Yeah. Really, I guess. I mean, I don't really get too far deep into some esoteric comics or read a bunch of crazy indie stuff. You know, I didn't get too heavily into Walking Dead or nothing.
Yeah,
I'd say the only Marvel title I collected like for completeness is I have an entire run of Uncanny X-Men, except for like a lot of the first like 54 issues or whatever, you know, before they reprinted and then relaunched into the all new X-Men or Giant Size, you know, with Colossus and Storm and all of them. But yeah, I have a lot of them back then, just not complete, but you know, it's getting close.
That's cool, man. I mean, like the one comic I always collected was the Goon, and I got a lot of Hellboy just because I'm like really into horror and stuff. Mm-hmm. But then there is some books I'd like to go back and get. Like I wanted to pick up some of the old Dead World. I really like the art in there. There was a Poison Elves campaign, a book I wanted to get, like this indie book. I don't know if you've heard of that. Mm-hmm. That one, and man, there's a few that I'd like to pick up on, but it's just kind of like bucket list stuff, you know. There's a lot of people are making comics now too. Bands are making comics, like the Offspring's putting out a comic.
Really, that's crazy.
Yeah, one of my favorite bands, In Flames and Amon Amarth, the two of my favorite bands. They're putting out comics. I think the publisher's called ZZ Comics or something like that. They do, yeah, it's pretty dope because like bands will have like a song that'll be real epic, and then it's actually like a story, and then like a fan or somebody, or they'll hire someone to do a comic of it, and I don't know, it's pretty cool.
I think didn't Megadeth do something with DC last year or something? I remember seeing
so.
That.
I think so. Yeah, there's two big companies, dude, that do rock and roll. Yeah, because I have a local comic store. I'm actually going to do a signing there on the end of the month, and some Butch Cleaver books, and I picked up this previews mag just to see what's going on. I pump in there every now and then, and yeah, they had the Crypt Hidnals book in there, so there was some.
Oh, nice. My guy Ollie worked on that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you got a favorite metal band?
Shit, nah, I'm not big into metal.
What about rock? You into rock at all?
Not really. I listen to more shit like Wu-Tang Clan and Cypress Hill and fucking, you know, De La Soul, kind of 90s hip hop shit.
Who's your favorite artist? You got a favorite artist?
MF Doom.
Ooh. Okay, I've never heard of him.
He's the guy that wears the Doctor Doom mask and like
Oh shit.
has his whole career is just his gimmick was like jacking samples from the old Spider-Man and Fantastic Four cartoons and shit like that, and remixing, Sesame Street and Scooby-Doo and all that type of shit. Kind of crafted the sound of all those old 70s cartoons in his albums and shit. So
that's crazy.
That with he's, I don't know, just look him up. His name's MF Doom.
MF Doom.
Yeah. Cult classic.
A lot of my buddies were in the
underground dude.
We're into rap. He's a big underground dude, huh?
Well, he died a couple years ago, but yeah, before he passed, it was decently known.
Have you ever heard of a rapper named Necro?
Yes.
Yeah.
Necro. He hangs out with Cage and fucking all those fucking nonfiction dudes. Yeah, I've heard of Necro before, man.
I think he's like a death rap kind of guy. I just remember him from like 20 years ago.
Yeah, man.
Oh wait, you're from Chicago, so you know Twista then, huh?
Oh yeah, I've heard of Twista. That dude was really popular about 20 years ago, I'd say.
Yeah, I remember. Everybody used to listen to him over here. I mean, yeah, he was like a pretty popular because he could rap so fast and he had decent beats on a couple of songs, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, man, that's crazy. I was wondering, man. I actually have the campaign up right now. If you like, I could share it for Tiger Blue 3.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, man, this campaign looks dope. I can't wait to check it out right now.
Yeah, we were supposed to launch last October, but because of printing delays and whatnot, we ended up delaying it to this summer. And before we knew it was like the last couple of days of summer and we hadn't launched it. It's like, oh no, we gotta get this out there. So we launched the last day of September, I think. It's like the 22nd or something like that, I think. And yeah, man, I mean, it's going like it's going. We're crawling there, almost halfway funded, almost halfway through the first 30 days. So, it's a crawl this time.
It's pretty good.
But
it's a crawl.
We're working on it.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. I'm really digging this fucking cover here, man. Like again, I haven't read the second campaign. I know it's 4 stories, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So
and this third one, the third one takes place directly after the first one. So
I had a feeling that was probable.
Right.
So
and
that's
so
dope.
If nothing is missing by reading them out of order, I'd say.
Oh, okay. That's cool, man. I really like the way you guys did that. I really like
it. It happened because book 2 was comprised of 4 single stories. They all tie together though, but each story was supposed to be drawn by a different artist than Jose and come with the first book. So like the first supplemental story should have came with issue 1, but it didn't hit the 20K stretch goal. We only got to like 17. So we had this Mike Barron script still sitting around.
Yeah, Mike
as
Barron,
well as the other scripts from Vaughn and Sweetcast and Narwhal. And Jose said, well, I can just draw these, like, and get them done. We don't have to wait for the other artists. And he did it so fast, we launched it as Tiger Blue 2 last July, and did the big summer blockbuster with all the writers. And yeah, man, it was done and ready to ship by October, but we just had trouble with the printer. But
it's out of your hands.
It's crazy in indie comics. You never know what's going to happen, I guess.
You don't, man. And you can only plan for so much. You can only play God so much. You know what I mean? And forecast,
And so you read the first book then, right?
Oh yeah. I haven't read the second campaign though. I want to immerse myself in that.
So remember when he gets bit by the snake, dude, and starts hallucinating, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then the samurais, he's seeing them as paintings, but the samurais he's not supposed to touch, he ends up fighting, right?
Yeah.
They stab him full of those swords, and he bleeds out,
I love that image. Yeah.
Until he stops hallucinating, right? Because like he bled out so much, the venom from the snake bite like kind of wore off, right?
Right.
And then he stops seeing them as paintings and starts seeing them for what they are, and then grabs the swords out of his back and kills them or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then right before he fights that doctor dude, right, that takes the serum and gets all buff, he dies. He collapses and dies from the injury of all this. Because a lot of people who review it are like, oh, he got 17 swords in his back and was fine. It was unrealistic. And I was like, dude, he dies like a few minutes later from that shit.
Yeah.
But whatever. So when he's dead on the ground, before Nurse Violet revives him with that Pulp Fiction style shot to the heart.
Eric Stoltz.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. When he taps the chest. The breastplate. So in that few minutes or whatever, few seconds, he's technically dead, right? So in Asian mythology, when you die, there's these two ogres or demons that guard the gates of hell, and that's the ox head and the horse face demon known as Mezu and Gozu. And that's the plot for part 3, is when he was dead, hell was supposed to claim his soul, but he came back to life, and they're supposed to come bring him back, because he was
they're taking him back to they're trying to take him back to hell, huh?
Exactly.
Damn, that's fucking metal, dude. I like that, man. I love this image right here, man. Wow.
So then in book,
that's a cover, huh?
In book 3, so in book 3, the only place he thinks is fortified enough to like hide out and fight them in using the terrain to his advantage is the mob's base in Chicago, which is like
very nice.
A skyscraper under construction on one side, but the bottom is like the subterranean kind of Al Capone vaults scenario, like the
bootleggers.
Right. So he's got to go back to Chicago and kind of
like catacomby a little bit, right?
Get back in with the mob, and so it's mobs versus gods, basically. The mob versus gods.
No, that's cool, man. And I had a feeling like you were gonna bring it back a little bit to that. You know what I mean? Because it had the whole mafia thing. We were talking about Dr. Moreau and Enter the Dragon, but it also had this, a little side of the mafia, and the bootlegging and whatnot. You know what I mean? So
because that's what they're ultimately using the weapons for, is as mob enforcers or whatnot. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I can't. That sounds. I can't wait to read this. I am definitely gonna back this book.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I love this. I love this art, dude. These. So, man, I love these baddies in here, man. The ones you spoke of from what mythology was it again?
It's from different Asian mythology. Okay, Chinese, cool. Japanese, Vietnamese, all have a different version of the story.
Okay.
In Dragon Ball Z, they're the two demons that Goku meets when he first dies and goes on the Snake Road after he was killed. Hellboy fights him in one issue of Hellboy.
I might have that one, but I don't know, because he fights
Lone Wolf. They're in Lone Wolf and Cub too. When
hell yeah!
When he gets work, he paints a image of the ox head and the horse face and hangs it on the tree, and then the people make the stone map underneath it, and then he follows the stone map to the gold bars and the assignments every time. It's kind of like the dead drop thing he uses to get his jobs as an assassin. But yeah, he draws those two demons from the gates of hell, and it's like I looked them up, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, so these are a real thing. I was needing to create, if Tiger Blue is my Ninja Turtles, right?
Right.
He needs a Bebop and Rocksteady, right? So
okay, yeah, okay.
These guys are my Bebop and Rocksteady, and we'd already blown through public domain monsters in book 2, you know,
right.
with Draculas and werewolves and mummy chicks and stuff like that, and public domain heroes, you know, and so
Black
this
Terror.
time, yeah, Black Kid Terror and all them, right? And so this time I was like, well, what other free mythologies can we tap that's not like Norse or Greek or, you know, that's kind of overused a lot that don't fit, like Tiger Blue fighting like
fresh.
Some Norse god just wouldn't jive with the you know, feeling of the story.
Nah.
So, but these two,
like Asian,
they're the perfect Bebop and Rocksteady analogs for the story, man.
Absolutely, man. That's fucking awesome. I'm actually, my next book right now, I'm doing a Norse book myself, and it's called Hell War. I mean, speaking of hell, but he's got his brother locked up in hell, and he's trying to get him out. And he has to deal with Hell Nora, which is, you know, hell, the goddess of hell, but I switch her up a little bit. But yeah, man, that's cool. I really love, and I again love Jose's art right here. It's like looks like he's dropped knee in a fish or something.
Yeah, one of the fans had paid Jose for a commission.
Okay.
While we were away, and he got this whole cover made, and it's like, yo, I just need to use that image on the campaign, man. This looks so freaking cool. You could use it as the third printing cover for book 1, or, you know, something. Shadow Punk made us this awesome movie poster.
I saw that
deal. It's like, oh man, so awesome.
He dropped it like on Twitter, I think, like maybe a week or 2 ago, and I was just, it's like, man, he really fucking, man, made a zinger, you know.
Yeah, I DM'd him. I was like, yo, can we use that? Like, I need that for the campaign, man. That looks awesome.
And I was like, that's a good thumbnail, dude, for the show. I'm gonna use that shit. It just looks so good, you know.
And Shadow Punk is also connected to the campaign. He's the one who did the statue right? We have for sale. Yeah. He's the 3D sculptor too.
I got his book too. I got to read his book with my kid. Like, we were watching, because remember, well, I mean, remember the video and whatnot that came out with
that the half an hour short he made.
Yeah, I watched it with my daughter, and, you know, she's like, oh, perfect book for, like, you know, age. Yeah, man, this is awesome.
I got it too.
What I like too, I haven't read it yet, but I want to. My dad's side, they're from Detroit too, so it's kind of like I want to see this, you know. What I like about these Jose's art, man, it's, you know, he still has the same style when he draws traditional too, you know.
I always thought his chains were just like a brush maybe that he had made or something, but no, in all the sketch cards, if he uses chains, they're just as like the ones he does digitally. So he may actually draw them all, man. I have no idea.
So simpatico, man, like the way he could do that, you know. It's fucking awesome. Oh, I love that statue, man. And then
it's big too. I mean, super meaty. I don't know if I have one sitting around here. I have a painted one over there.
And then obviously, like, you're a rep for Tom Dubois, right?
Oh yeah. I get him. I found him, and
it's cool, man.
He was doing Bible magazines and stuff, and hadn't worked in the industry in several years. And then I contacted the people, and they were like, yo, we never even knew all of our art was by the same person. You know, we thought that was just a whole graphic design, like, art studio in Chicago. They didn't know it was one guy. Because the studio they hired, Tom never worked for. Tom's cousin worked for. And every time Tom's cousin would get a job, he would just go to Tom and hire him. And, like, you know, like, so Konami never knew who did their art. And I put together that documentary with limited run games, and, you know, was trying to get some notoriety for the man, since he's done such a prolific body of work, you know, like, I remember 50 Turtles of the hottest games.
Turtles in Time. I remember just looking at that cartridge, you know, as a kid, like, that's so cool. That's so cool, you know. And then Dracula's Curse, Castlevania 3. That was my favorite. That was my favorite game. I used to love to fucking use Alucard or the pirate, you know, and climb up the walls and shit.
Yep. On the ceilings.
Yeah. And I just, like, love the artwork, you know, like, with his forced perspective and whatnot. That specifically Dracula's Curse, Castlevania 3. And it's just funny that you were like, homeboy did all this. I'm like, what the fuck? He did all that? I was like, I remember that from, like, I loving that art when I was a kid, you know.
And then I found out even more, because it's like he did all the ads that are on the back of all the comic books, so it's like there's extensively a lot more artwork than just his boxes, because he did all the ad stuff. So we're trying to gather all that together, identify everything he did do, and then we've digitally restored all the paintings to high definition, removed all the trade dress and old, ad copy and stuff. So it's just the pure paintings. And we've had Tom re-sign off on all of them and approve all the colors and everything. So they're fully restored, and we've got everything he's worked on his whole career. So we're doing the definitive video games and pop culture art book. And
that's fucking awesome, man.
5 years in the making.
Oh no, I mean that's so cool. And like for me, like Castlevania, that was a big influence on me. Like even Butch Cleaver, dude. Like the whole fucking castle, like I have my book, I have like cathedrals and things like that. I love Gothic architecture, and like that's what you do in the game. That's where you're at. You're in Dracula's castle, but it's like fucking 10 churches put together or more. You know what I mean? And just he actually like made it a visual. Like in the game, it's a side scroll. It's bit mapping and pixels, and with that you actually get the visual, like Nintendo Power, like immersive visual. So big inspiration, man. It's fucking awesome. Love that statue.
Yeah, I love those Nintendo Power double page spreads with full maps.
Yeah, dude,
laid out. Yeah, for sure.
I miss those times. Oh, here we go. Yeah, man. I'd love to get that guy to do a piece someday. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, he's working on the Metal Gear collection that's coming out soon, and then I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, but there's the new Contra game.
Oh yeah, I love Contra, dude.
The game has been announced, so
I love Super Contra a lot.
But yeah, there's a new Contra that's out, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie. What I'm really working on is to see if he can get the cover of the Ronin game that's coming out, the Last Ronin Turtles game.
Oh damn!
It's like it'd be a fitting, like bookend to all the Turtles work he's done, and then to 30 years later do the old man, Last Ronin cover, like super dark and grimy, and I think it would look sick.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, and fucking I forgot about Blue Balls, dude. I backed that shit too. I can't wait for that one.
That's been inked, penciled, colored, and it's just left for me to letter. I haven't finished.
Doing the letters, huh?
Yeah.
Do you letter other books or just your own?
I've started lettering this year to cut costs. So the first book I'll officially do the lettering on is The Puritan, for my story in fucking Out of Obscurity over on Fund My Comic. It's a Solomon Kane story called The Puritan.
Nice.
And it's 8 pages, and I'm doing the lettering on that. And then I'm doing the lettering on Blue Balls.
Nice.
And then I'm doing the lettering on Red Giant Battle, which is by the same artist that drew The Puritan. So those 3 are in the works, and once I get them lettered, I'm not in a hurry because I'm still waiting on the last few pages of art for the Prospectors, right? And that's the deadline is when I go to print Prospectors. I'm gonna print Blue Balls and I'm gonna print Red Giant Battle all at the same time. Because I don't know if you know this, I do my own print runs now. Like I used to go to 3D Zach, and then 3D Zach became too busy or overwhelmed to do the print runs. So now he just lets me go to his house and like stay for a couple days and do the print runs myself.
That's smart. That's cool.
At cost, he'll only charge me cost. So my print runs literally are just I have to pay for the ink and the fucking paper. Is it?
That's awesome, dude.
And I do all of the work. I mean, it's backbreaking work. Printing and binding and
I can't imagine
running the guillotine and I mean it's I recommend every creator do it at least once, because it's like literally like baked from scratch, homemade products. Like it doesn't get any more like connected than the feeling I got printing and binding my own shit.
That's crazy, man. And then this campaign's all black and white too, right? Tiger Blue 3. Yeah, I'm doing that for my next book too, man. I'm doing some crazy. I'm gonna do some crazy printing shit on my next book. I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna get it printed, but I haven't seen anybody do what I'm gonna try to do.
Now you said you read the Goon, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's grayscale, right? Not black and white.
He's done multiple things. Sometimes he does grayscale. Sometimes he does black and white. Sometimes he does color. Sometimes he does digital color. Like it's pretty crazy. He actually did a poll on Twitter not too long ago. Like, you guys want me to do like highly rendered, detailed shit with less stories, or just like black and white, like, with more stories? I'm like, fuck it, more stories, because he's funny, dude. He's a good storyteller. Right. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm like, fuck it, dog. Like, you're gonna be good anyway. And like, even because he does he does pencils and inks sometimes, and then he like outlines with the black colored pencil. And I'm just like, give me some of that, dude. Like, he's in his humor, dude. Like, he was a big influence on me too, like writing and stuff, like just that goofy kind of world, like that Prohibition era,
Right.
But with me more like kind of gothic Western, like he's one of them, and Bernie writes in, it's weird, black and white and grayscale, because once you go grayscale, that's color, right? Ultimately.
Well, I was gonna say, we don't print Tiger Blue in black and white. We print it grayscale. So
it's like color.
Yeah, and right? Technically, like when Jose goes back and does the grays and the highlights, like that's almost the same amount of time as it would take to color. It's the same amount of processes. So I know a lot of people think like, oh, it's black and white, it's lower production value. It's like, no, there's actually extra steps in this. It's black and white for artistic choices, for the vibe of the noir films and the samurai movies and the 1940s newsreels about the war, and like the stuff it's trying to be like looks like that. So seeing it black and white, I always feel like, that's doing it a disservice, with the amount of stuff that Jose puts in to get that look.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, like for me, black and white, like it has to be like something that's gonna fit. Like for me, it's like sword and sorcery, noir, horror, like those types of things, and then if you're gonna add like all the dry brush and stuff like that, and the effects, the whiteout, all of that stuff in there, and I'm doing my own lettering in this book too, so that's sound effects. But I'm
onomatopoeia or whatever they call it, onomatopoeia.
Yeah, I'm just drawing it in. So like, say I'm drawing a panel, I'll have a square. Maybe the square's going like kind of like that, but or a rectangle. And then I'll go in there and I'll physically like letter my sound effects, and it's kind of fun, man. But yeah, man, that's freaking awesome. I love the way his paws look right here. His back paws, they're just so big, and just like the stylistic choice.
It was crazy that Shadowpunk was able to take that Tom painting from Tom Dubois and create a full 3D turnaround of the painting. It's like
right, like that didn't exist in was it 2D?
Yeah,
or just in a flat surface?
This was a flat surface, and he made it. And if you pose it just right in front of the poster, it's like it lines up perfect. It's
like symmetric and everything.
Yeah.
So right,
we have a few of book 1 left, first printings, and the very first toy that's totally gone. You can't get that really anywhere anymore.
I got one of those, and you got 4 toys out now too, huh?
Yeah, because Steve keeps telling me like, oh, we got to do a variant. The variants are cool. So we got the red, white, and blue one we did on 4th of July, and then dope. I think we did. We did the black one. I liked that one.
I like that one too, man.
And then dope. I think the hidden tier for emails.
It's only like a red one
who signed up. Yeah, it's like a Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls theme with the black and red.
I think I might have got that one. I really wanted the black one though, Doug. Like that one just looked really, I don't know. I mean, they're all dope, but I mean, like for me, like the black and white one really spoke to me.
Yeah, I was surprised at all the combinations he came up with the recolors. It's like, oh wow, that in a red gi looks really cool. Oh, with black fur, that looks really cool. Or, you know, giving me ideas for like variant characters in the book.
Oh yeah,
you know,
totally, dude. Forward. I love this EJ piece right here, man. Like EJ is one of those. I mean, obviously he's like the only other guy that could draw Cyber Frog, per Ethan Van Sciver, right?
Yeah. I think Ethan said if anybody else were to draw Cyber Frog, he would pick EJ Morges to do it.
And it's just like, oh my god, like I don't hear much from him or see much, but it's just like, fuck, when I do see it, I'm just like, you know, jaw drop. Like he did these pieces of Goblin Girl. I was just like, wow, just totally like next level. So you guys got a 15K.
Yeah, we got some stretch goals. I think we got stickers and trading cards, and that's all for now. If we get there, there's more we could unlock, but you know, for now.
Yeah, this book's been a big inspiration on me though, man. Like just from a lot of different levels. Like just on like again, we're talking about, you know, Jose hustle and Bancroft hustle, but you hustle too, man. Like just what you obviously you're talking about how you do the printing yourself now, and like the game cartridges you brought out, the action figures, just all these different things, man. Like just bringing our campaign, you know, like when someone like you comes around and puts out a book, a product like that, it's like, you know, guys like me, we're looking, you know, we're like, damn, we gotta, you know, we gotta do something. We gotta bring something new. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I was getting real like bookmark and stickery for a while, like of all the add-ons and bonuses, and people were getting real metal prints and buttons, and I was like, well, when I was a kid, we liked toys and we liked games,
dude.
And like I told you earlier, I was surrounded by the crack pack, and each of these individuals all had their own skill, and man, everybody really played their part on book one and brought together the full package. In the 90s, they used to say if you wanted a franchise to blow up, you had to prove that it could be a video game. You had to prove that it could be animated. You had to prove that it was toyific, which means it could be a toy. And you had to prove that it could be like this cool, gritty black and white thing, you know, of an indie comic, right? And
that makes sense.
I feel like we nailed it, like on all fronts. Like
you did. 100%.
We proved that it was able to be a toy, and the little 3-minute animation, and then the little one level of a video game, like all together. Like I feel if we were back in the 90s, we would have been able to pitch it to the network, and it would have been just as good on the shelf next to Inhumanoids and Turtles and G.I. Joe and all that other stuff. I feel like it would have fit in back then and been indistinguishable. You know, it wouldn't look out of place or out of time or anything, man.
Oh yeah, 100%. I had this like goal, like fuck it, I'll share it now. I mean, I wanted to like eventually maybe have like a cool, like, because I have a lot of different ideas cooking in my head and stories I want to tell. I could focus on one and then just die, but there's a lot of stories I want to tell, Matt, you know? So
I know how it is, man.
I'm trying to like do like every 2 years, do like a new kind of, I hate to say the word IP, but it's a new fucking IP, like, you know, new, you know, and they're all connected, but I want to do something new, you know? But anyways, I'd like to like one day, like maybe have like a cool kind of like TMNT type thing where I could put it as a Saturday morning cartoon on Tubi. You know what I mean? Where like fucking, because dude, Tubi has all these 90s cartoons I didn't even know of from back in the day, like Conan and like Kong and all. I'm watching it with my kids right now. They have everything. Think of Toxic Crusaders are on there.
I'd watch Conan on Sundays. It would come on, man. He fights that snake dude all the time, right?
Yeah. Always, like Dothamon or
Dathamon, man.
Yeah, it's hard, dude. We're watching it. Like, there's so many on there though, dude. Like right now, and I'm just thinking, dude, there's no fucking Saturday morning cartoons, bro. Like, what if I like went to Tubi, it's a free network, and be like, hey, dude, can you guys drop this shit like every Saturday? You know, like imagine that, like an indie artist, you know, came up with like a cool, like, you know, maybe like an all ages, like, you know, a cartoon that someone liked, you know, maybe not, you know, maybe something like Tiger Blue, where like the boy and his son will watch it, or the boy and his daughter, you know, and it's something cool like that. You know what I mean? You got the toys, you got the video games, you got the fucking comics, you got the, you know, the indie, you know, comic like this. So I don't know. That's just something I always thought would be cool, man. Like, I think that would be like a cool network to do it on. At least right now, I don't know where it's going and how things could change, but Yeah, man.
It's just all about funding, you know, to get getting those episodes in the can, you know, getting those people on some sort of payroll to do, you know, what they do. And that's where it becomes like really expensive or not feasible, you know, to get involved in any of that. But hopefully some people will see what we're doing down here and investors will eventually come around.
Jump down here
is what you can hope for. Or if not, just make sure to have fun making the comics while you can, you know, doing the comic thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure, man. I was going to ask you, dude, you got a favorite movie?
Shit, I like the Akira, Blade Runner, nice. Predator, True Romance, and like probably RoboCop. Like that's like my top 5.
So RoboCop's in my top 3. Like it's tied up with Conan and Bram Stoker's Dracula. I don't have Akira. I still need to buy that. I need to get the book and the movie. I kind of want to get them both.
I like They Live. If you don't want to count Akira because it's a cartoon, I'll throw They Live up in there.
Dude, fucking love. And Carpenter, he's just like, you know, one of my favorite directors. I love They Live. It's on Tubi right now.
I really like The Faculty. It's like a Robert Rodriguez. Yeah, and it's got the Terminator from Terminator 2.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah,
that's a solid movie, dude. Good fucking sci-fi horror. Kind of like and like kind of reminds me like those Goosebumps books, you know, where my teacher's an alien. You know, it's like growing up in like the early in the 90s. There was books like that, dude. You know, so when that movie came out, I could kind of jive with it a little bit.
Class of 1999 was one I watched as a kid, where like the teachers are Terminators, pretty much. Like they're like robots underneath, and the state hires them to handle all the delinquents, and then one goes rogue and start killing everybody. You know, they gotta stop the Terminator teacher. It's just like The Faculty, though, like same type of vibe, man. Class of 1999.
That's cool. I have to check that out. Maybe it's on Tubi or something. There's so many movies on there. That's my favorite network. But have you seen I was going to ask you, have you seen the RoboDoc?
What is like a documentary on RoboCop or what?
Yeah, dude. It's on like a Prime. It's on an Amazon Prime new like spin-off streaming site. It's like Screenbox or something.
Right. What's it called again?
But RoboDoc.
Oh, and it's
4 hours.
Okay, cool. I'll have to look it up, man. It's one of my favorite movies, though, for sure.
Yeah, it's like it's just I love.
I actually got to meet. I got to meet Peter Weller at the last fan expo I was just at in Chicago. Yeah, he was there doing signings.
He's an inspiration too, man. That guy does a lot of shit. Like he's an archaeologist. He's a jazz teacher. He's a director. He's an actor. He's a writer. And that's just some of the things that I know he does. You know,
he's the Dark Knight. He was the voice of the Dark Knight.
He's a fucking voice actor, and he's Batman.
Yeah, it's Batman.
And he was in the show called like Longmire, bro. He was directing some episodes of that. I don't know if you ever heard of that. Like, I mean, with the Western getting all big, Longmire was a cool like Western cop detective show, you know, and about Walt Longmire, and it was before like the Yellowstone buzz took off, you know. But there's a lot of Yellowstone shit like before Yellowstone, you know, and Lou Diamond Phillips is in there. I don't know if you've seen it. It's his homie. But he's a Native American in there, and he runs like a bar. And there's a vigilante that lives on the res. It's taking all these criminals, and Walt Longmire, like he has basically a criminal of the week where he's got to solve a case, you know, but he's trying to solve the murder of his wife throughout the whole 6 seasons, you know. And yeah, dude, I really recommend the show. It's kind of Columbo-y too in a way, and Rockford Filesy. So yeah, it's a good show. I was wondering, man, you want to go over some of these tiers real quick?
Oh yeah, I think we have the comic itself, which is just a 52-page comic book with Jose Garcia artwork written by me. It's $25, and then I think we have the digital tier, which is just really mostly for European people who don't want to pay for shipping, you know, or overseas people. It's not really meant for. It's expensive. It's $20 as to not devalue the price of the book. So it's not like a cheap digital to get in. It's more like for, like I said, my international backers who have been facing like $80 shipping to Australia, or, you know, different crazy amounts all over the world. So if they want to avoid that, they can jump in on the digital. And everybody who buys the book gets a digital when we go to print. I always make sure to send out the PDF to everyone, once the print files are done. Just, I'm impatient. You know how these crowdfundings are. As soon as I can read it, I want to.
Oh yeah.
I find most people wait and read the physical, but
I wait too long, but yeah, I'll wait like a year sometimes, unfortunately.
I like to get it out there. I don't have the stigma of the digital a lot of people do. This tier here is, like I said, there was 10 left. I think there's 6 left of the first printing of Tiger Blue and the first action figure.
Oh, I got that.
Yeah, and Steve's not making any more of those. So,
man, I love it, man. Like just the whole collective ability. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the way we got to do it, man. Like with their campaigns, it could be wrong.
Well, at this point, you're catering to a small market, so you might as well make it as collectible as possible for
exactly,
them,
dude. Yeah, I think that's the only way to do it, man. And like, you have to be hard and firm. Like, dude, it's gonna end now, and because at this point, like, we're not. I mean, we get big backers, some of the big guys in our network, they'll get maybe 4,000 backers or some stuff, but in reality, that's or I don't know however many they get, maybe 3,000 or something. It's a lot, right?
No,
but it's not a million like back in the fucking 90s and shit. You know what I mean? So,
that was a lot of speculators buying 20 copies, hoping to put their kids through college one day, type shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guilty. I think I probably bought 5 copies of X-Force, with all the different trading cards in it, and I probably bought 5 copies of X-Men and a couple of Spider-Man #1. Like, I'm the problem with that shit back in the day,
Dude, I heard that like the Jim Lee one, like one of the Jim Lees is like the #1 selling comic book of all time. One of the X-Men books.
That's the X-Men Gold or whatever. So yeah, the #1.
One of the dudes kind of in our network, he was saying that fucking Death of Superman was the #1 selling comic book of all time because it didn't have variants. So I guess like that Jim Lee one had a bunch of variants. So that's why the numbers were so high. So he was like, in reality, Death of Superman sold more. And I was like, well, I mean, that's a good argument.
Because there's just the one white bagged cover, right?
Yeah. And I was like, that's a good argument right there, And a lot of people were like, fuck you. Like, I think even Jim Lee was like, shut up. It got like commented on it shit, But I guess he's kind of got a point though, dude, right?
I mean, 5 variants is a lot of variants. So
all this. What's up, brother? You had to get all those covers of X-Men #1. Yep.
And the gatefold of all of them together anyway.
Yeah. Dude, remember the holograms on the covers, like for some of the X-Men? I actually, that'd be cool.
Oh, you're talking about during the
Fatal Attractions, I think they were called. Yeah, that's kind of cool, man. What up, G-Wag? Hey, brother.
I watched entire National Geographic special about how they made those holograms back in the day,
for the comics or just general?
Just principle? In general, that technology. Okay. The National Geographic came with like a hologram skull on the cover,
Yeah.
And that was just the thing of the times. I don't know if you remember, there was a set of action figures called the Visionaries, and they had those holograms in their chest and in their shields, and like the animation had spirits talking to them, but it's just the same type of holograms in their chest.
I was gonna ask you, man. Like, I always forget. People tell me all the time, but I'm horrible with memory. Did Kenner make the Masters of the Universe toys? No, it was Mattel, right?
Mattel made Masters of the Universe. Kenner was Star Wars, right?
Yeah, but like Mattel. So that same mold was TMNT.
Hasbro
right?
was GI Joe. TMNT was Playmates.
So Playmates, but like the Playmates, and then also like the He-Man figures, they were similar. They had that same body build. You know what I mean?
With that scale, one little hole. I'd say they're in scale with each other.
Right?
Yeah.
And then also Dick Tracy. I remember the Dick Tracy movie figures. They
had the first too. Star Trek: The Next Generation figures were kind of shaped like that too.
And the Toxic Crusader ones were like that too. I had a couple of those. I had a Toxie. Dude, I want to fucking make a toy like that, bro. Because those are strong as they're strong as fuck, bro. Like your kid could grab one and just throw it at the wall and fucking, you know what I mean? Like, and then you have all like the cool, like the turtle ones, And they have all the cool little tchotchkes. We got Crazy Matt in the house.
What's up? Hey,
what up, Crazy Man? Thanks for stopping by, guys. I appreciate it.
Hey, J Dollar.
What up, J Dollar? What's cracking, man? He said, my friend. And then we got Tiger Blue 1 through 3. So everyone, you want to get all 3 books, you got it right there.
Oh, check it. I launched and everybody's like, I can't back book 2 and I can't back book 1. And I was like, well, they're sold out. And then they're like, no, we need a tier for that. And then I got like 5 DMs and like a few people on Twitter talking about it. So I was like, okay, we'll do a 3rd print of book 1, a 2nd print of book 2, and do a 3-pack. And one person buys it. It's like, all these people hit me up, and then only one guy bought it. So I don't know if only the one guy buys it before we close. I'll just dig up a first printing of everything for him instead of doing a whole print run. But yeah, man, I guess if we sell some of those, I'll do another print run.
I guess sometimes you just got to have that tier up there,
Yeah, and if we end up funding and going in demand, it will benefit to have that up there, for several months. But it was just kind of funny. You go to make it and get it up there in a hurry, and then they were just having suggestions. They weren't actually really wanting to purchase some shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hell yeah! Thanks, Aldous.
I think the next tier is the $100 original sketch.
Yeah.
Jose does the ink wash and the, pencils and inks, and then an ink wash on it. So they look really nice.
Oh yeah.
He works almost exclusively digital. So getting a physical piece from him is kind of rare. So, you get a chance to enjoy, the physical, his real skill on real paper. It's not the computer doing the heavy lifting. He can actually throw down. So,
it'd be cool if he did the cartoon, bro. Have him do it on fucking Tubi, dude. Like I would want it in his style. Like fuck it. Like it would just be simpatico, kind of like Akira.
Well, luckily enough, Jose works in layers. So when he turned in the pages with all the layers in it still, I was able to turn those over to Dying Days, and it helped him do the motion comic a lot easier with it all separated already. You can take pieces out and, kind of move them around in, what do they call it? Parallax scrolling to give the illusion of depth and stuff. So pretty cool stuff, man.
I love the Dying Days of YouTube. Lately from him, but man, that guy's fucking awesome, dude. And then next up, we got
his Roach Ball trailer is.
Oh yeah, the shit, dude.
Awesome.
It's up there, like all-time greatest hits of fucking CG and whatnot,
Yeah.
We got the Dubois statue, right? By Shadow Punt.
And those are made by the Zaid brothers up in Chicago. They do printing for the arcade they work at, and the arcade has a contract with Toho doing the Godzilla garage kits. So it's made to the same quality as the Toho Godzilla garage kits. So check it out if you're into that type of thing. I know there's people who like to paint them and do all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
that's like a thing, dude. I think that's like a real skill to paint those,
Yeah, my girl hooked up the paint job on one of the statues here, and it took her several days to get it finished. So
yeah, it is right there. Look at all the hairs, dude. Oh man. I think he's like a weapon, dude. I love it.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a hedgehog or something when you look at it. It's like, dang, they're covered in spikes.
So fucking dope. Well, you hear that, folks?
Yeah, so I only had 3. I only had 3 made. One sold already, and I gave one away to Aldous. He won in a contest a while back, and then we have the painted one. So if more people buy them, I'll get them printed up. But right now we're doing good.
Yeah, it's good to have too. You know what I mean? Like I'd love to do that someday. I know Brian Kreisgau did that for Sick Gorilla for a few things. Yeah, it's awesome, dude. Everyone watching, man, and on the replay too, come show some love to this campaign. Tiger Blue 3. We got 73 backers already, and we could use some more. I can personally vouch for this IP. I've got both the first and second book. I haven't read the second one yet, but it looks fucking phenomenal. This one, if you guys listen to Matthew talk about the synopsis of him having to battle these denizens of hell coming to bring him back, it's gonna be a fucking awesome book. Jose's art is next level, immersive. Pops out. It's very cinematic, and you guys got to come in here.
And you can spot it. You never see Jose's art and there's like, oh, who's that artist again?
Yeah,
it's like very distinctive.
Very distinctive, and yeah, he always has these crazy like compositions, and his panels just really pop out. That's what I love about his art. That's awesome, man. I was wondering, man, you got a favorite brew? Do you drink at all, or you don't drink, or?
What do I drink? Corona, I guess.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Brews that I like. Yeah, nah, I'd say Corona's my go-to beer.
Have you had the Familiar? That one's pretty good.
That's the darker bottle one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that sometimes too.
It's a little crispier. They got a pretty good beer too called Jalisco Estrella. I got that one down in Mexico. It's very similar to Corona. Very similar to Corona.
I like Guinness too, but
Guinness?
It depends. If I'm drinking whiskey, I'll drink Guinness. Like I'll go out and drink Guinness and Jameson, or I'll go out and drink Corona and Cuervo, or whatever. So but I never mix. You know what I'm saying? It's like I got certain beer liquor combinations that I stick with. In order to avoid like getting like I don't know,
know thyself, dude,
or just in pain more than sick.
Gotta
drink gin and like some Bud Light or something, like I'll be tore the fuck up inside. Like I got.
Oh yeah,
I got my certain shit that hits right.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. You got to know thyself. I love Guinness, man. I want to go to that brewery someday. My boss went there and said it was pretty dope, man. In Ireland, one day I want to travel over there.
Like we've got a couple craft beer houses here, or like this video game bar called 8-Bit. It's like a craft beer video game thing. So if I'm on a date, like I'll fucking do the samplers and try all the, Scar Laser Ale and, all the crazy Devil Horn Brew Company, and all the weird indie brews and shit.
Yeah.
But I've never found one that like, oh, I'm going to make this my like main squeeze type situation,
Oh yeah. Yeah. For me, like I pick up different brews for like I do my little reviews for the books, and I kind of try to like cornball cheesy, like tie them up with it, for fun. Because I can try different beers and stuff, and it's fun. But I like the Weihenstephaner by Vitus. That's a really cool brewery. They're like one of the oldest ones, if not the oldest brewery in the world. And it's like a dark Hefeweizen or Hefeweizen, however you want to say it. And it's just really smooth and carbonated and bomb as fuck, dude. It's like a 7%, but it is smooth. Like even my wife, she likes it, and she don't even drink. She's like, this is pretty good.
Have you heard of Dragon's Milk?
Yeah, I've actually had that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
My wife brought home a case of this Dragon's Milk, and she's in the kitchen cooking, and she got it because she wanted to use some of the bottles on the roast. We were slow cooking a roast, and she wanted to soak some expensive beer in the roast we're cooking. This bitch drank 2 bottles of this shit and was like floored. It's like it got her obliterated to where she was like sitting on the toilet, like spinning, she's just like holding like her head like this, sitting down, like spinning. I'm like, bitch, you drank 2 beers. And I looked it up on the thing. I was Googling the back of the bottle. It's like, apparently like this shit will fuck you up. Like just a couple of beers has dramatic reactions on some people, and it's like
it must be like something in the brew, like it's some beers. Like for me, I have this rule, like if I'm gonna go buy beer, like just to drink, like I'll go to the beer store, and usually where I go, they'll have a lot of beers, dude. They'll have like 25 like 2,000 singles that I could pick from, and I'll pick.
I think it's 11%, maybe. Does that sound right?
Lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, dude. It's really high.
At that point, it's like for me, like once I get up to like the 10 area, that's like a shot already. So it's like, or 2 shots. So it's like, might as well just drink some whiskey or something, So
and it's smooth. That's the thing. I drank one of the bottles. So she poured one in the roast, drank two, and then there was one left. And I was like, let me see what this is all about.
Give me that.
And it went down fat. You know what I'm saying? It was very smooth. So I could see how just a casual beer drinker would like put back a few of them. And yeah, see, all this knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've had that shit before. It's pretty good. I know our boy Death Metal Hero drinks that too. That's a sweet C flag. We never see Maddie's full back.
Oh, Sega flag. He's talking about my Sega banner.
I don't know why I said C. I didn't even need a new prescription, Matthew. My eyes are fucked up, man. And then also Aldous was saying that Jose Garcia's art really sings with Tiger Blue. It's not my bag, but man, does it work with this story. Yeah. I've been told me and Jose are one of the best pairings of that work. Like some things are greater than their individual selves when paired together. You know what I'm saying? It's like, us two together is way stronger than our individual stuff. You know, like it's that chemical reaction or whatever, the right alchemical mix or whatever you call it. That's cool, man. And it's good when you have like a good working relationship, you know, like you think of John Carpenter with, you know, Russell Crowe doing Elvis, and then The Thing and Big Trouble, and then, you know, Escape from New York or whatnot, or you got like Mickey Rourke and what is it, Robert Rodriguez, and he also uses Danny
Trejo.
Yeah,
he used him in Once Upon a Time in Mexico too. And
uses Danny Trejo a little more, I guess. But he used him in Sin City. But it's like, I don't know, man. Some people just like they find a good working relationship and they make fucking magical art. That's just the best way I could put it. Magical art, you know?
Yeah.
It's art and it's magic, whether it be film or comic or movie or video game.
Yeah, I was lucky finding Jose hanging out in the chats, you know, down at the stank streams and fucking crack pack and shit.
Yeah. Love those like Finatra streams, man. I try to get on there, man, but it's usually like right when I'm like about to go to bed, you know. And most of you cats are on like the East Coast, dude. So I got to kind of line my stuff up with you guys, or most of you guys are like Central or like East Coast, so it's kind of hard sometimes. That's why
I pretty much operate on EST now because of all the time. You know, even though I'm Central, it's just everything is set to that pretty much.
Yeah, no, me too, 100%. You know, like me, it's 9 o'clock over here. It's not even that late, you know. Then like over there, it's like, oh damn, they're at midnight. So it's kind of harder. You're like 11, right? Something like that.
Yeah. So, up a little late for me, but you know, whatever. I can hang out. It's fine.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, you got any other? I mean, so you got the Tom Dubois art book coming up. That's your next big thing, huh?
I'm attacking 3 platforms at once right now. I got Fund My Comic. We got the Out of Obscurity, public domain characters.
Is that the one with the hand? Is that the one with the hand on the cover? Okay. Yeah, I want to get that shit. That looks dope.
I've got a Solomon Kane story in that book.
I love me some Solomon Kane, bro. I got a Solomon Kane book right there on the table. That little black book right there.
Nice. Jose is also in that book.
Oh, really?
Not working with me. He's working with a different writer.
Okay.
And it's some Tower of Darkness story. But if you like either one of us, you know, pick up that Out of Obscurity.
Yeah. Man.
On Kickstarter, we've got the definitive Tom Dubois book of video game and pop culture art to check out. We've been working on for 5 years, gathering all the inside tidbits, reference photos, behind the scenes sketches and interviews, and fully restored box art to 4K with color revamps and everything brought into a modern era and preserved. So that's on there, taking signups now. And then, like you said, on Indiegogo, we have Tiger Blue 3, which is my main ship. So hopefully we can get it sailing. But yeah, check it out. Tiger Blue 3.
For sure, man. And then Aldous was saying that the old Indasco cover is a throwback to the old school Easy covers on the Out of Obscurity. That's cool, man. I didn't even know Odin did that. It's a pretty dope cover.
Like that.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming on, man. I guess was there anything else you wanted to chat about, or that's
No. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it when I get these invites. I'm always real reluctant to go on stream and stuff because I get super nervous and hate being on camera. But I like getting the invites, and it was nice talking with you and hanging out, man. I appreciate the invite.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Anytime. Thanks for coming on, man. Where can people find you at, Matt?
I'm at Dubois_Fowler on Twitter, or you can find me by looking up Retrographic Books. We have an Instagram and the retrographicbooks.com website where you can buy back issues of stuff I've worked on before, look through the galleries of all this pop culture artwork that Tom has done throughout his life, and check out what we've been working on. Go take a look.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Fowler, you're welcome anytime on the gutter, as is Matt. Oh, fuck yeah. I'm going to have to go on there, man.
Yeah, I love the gutter. That's where Aldous does all those shows about pulp and older stuff.
You're a dope streamer.
Oh, thanks, Crazy.
Just look for who was telling you, Candy, to wait in the fucking car.
That's because I told that chick, like, the men are talking, go wait in the car, Candy, or whatever. Doing that shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. I think I kind of remember some of that. Yeah.
Over the Spencer's deal. They were fucking over
all those creators, right?
All 7 creators. Yeah.
That's sad, man.
The fudge incident.
What was that? Oh, yeah.
And
when people say that, I always think about RoboCop. You know, when I don't want to hear anybody talk about strike. We do not strike. We are police officers. Like, I don't want to hear anybody talk about fudge. We do not. I don't know why. I just think of that line in the movie whenever I hear people saying, we tell about the fudge here.
Yeah, we don't hide fudge. So whatever. I was just interneting, man. What I was saying is that fudge incident was how I even hooked up with Luke Stone and got on the Out of Obscurity, I think.
That's dope, man. Luke's a fucking saint, man. In a lot of ways. Man. Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well, thanks again for coming on, Matt. You're welcome anytime. I'd love to have you on again. I had a great time chatting with you, brother. Yeah, man. It was awesome.
Cool. I'll check you later.
Yeah. Thanks everyone everyone for stopping by, and always remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. I'll see you guys later.